Michael Pachter just came out and said that having exclusive games on your platform is the wrong way to go. Hi, welcome to the Gadget Review. Michael Pachter is a Wedbush analyst, looks into the gaming industry. He's been around for years. He's been giving advice about the gaming industry's economy and all that for years. A lot of the things that he says make sense, but a lot of the things that he says, although a lot of times are like way off the mark. And so one of the things that he just talked about, which I think is way off the mark if you didn't get that yet, is that Nintendo's and Sony's strategy of having exclusive games is the wrong way to go. This is what he said.
The Nintendo model and the Sony model of proprietary titles on proprietary platforms is the wrong model. It's a broken model. Supporting your content by managing the distribution on your platform is like a movie studio owning a chain of movie theaters, and the only way you can watch their movie is in their theater.
Just like people like watching movies and some people don't. Some people like playing games and some people don't. But I would argue that the vast majority of people would rather play a video game. I think gaming has a lot of more accessible points versus movies, depending on the subject, can be touchy. The type of revenue you can get from a video game is completely different than the type of revenue you can do from a movie. You buy a ticket, watch a movie, and you're done. As games have proven time and time again, today you can monetize a game for years and make money out of it for years without having to worry about selling a DVD or any of those things. So that's the other difference when we're talking about movies and video games. I thought that using that example didn't make any sense, but then he goes and kind of like doubles down into it by using Netflix as an example of a service that uses the exclusive model where they don't make as much money. He also goes into talking about Netflix putting movies in theaters, which they do, but they don't really. How many Netflix movies have you seen in the movie theater? Or that one had like a week or two theater run and then went into Netflix? Very few. The majority of content from Netflix is exclusive content. And so using Netflix as your example of a company that might be leaving money on the table, which I'm sure they are, but then not being successful and that being the wrong way of distribution, doesn't make sense because that's all of Netflix's business. It's making content exclusively for Netflix and nowhere else. I was surprised by that take. Going back into the gaming part of it is we have Nintendo and we have Sony, PlayStation, right? These two companies exist because of their exclusive content. I mean, how many games from Nintendo have you seen in other platforms? I would say one to none. And Nintendo is known for being very, very quick to take things down when they violate their IP or they think their IP is being violated. So I would argue that if Nintendo started to put their games in other platforms, that their business will actually be negatively affected because people then wouldn't see the need of buying a Nintendo console. And at that point, Nintendo would just become a gaming publishing company, which Nintendo has said many, many times they're not interested in doing. Sony also has a business because of their exclusives. If they didn't have the exclusives that they have today or that they had through their history, Sony PlayStation wouldn't exist and it wouldn't be winning the console war against Xbox when it comes to how many consoles each company has sold. Nintendo, if you didn't know, totally destroys Xbox on console sales. This take from Michael Pachter to me is laughable in a way because it really doesn't make sense historically. He's saying that the market is changing, and it's true, the market is changing. There's more interest in companies like PlayStation, Sony putting their games in other platforms. And like an example is Helldivers, right? But I don't think that Sony's ever going to do, for example, God of War, day one on PC and PlayStation. It doesn't make sense. And PlayStation is doing so well by the way they're selling their games right now, exclusively on PlayStation. The only place you can play them day one, unless you want to wait a few years, is PlayStation. And I really think the PlayStation is going to continue. Sorry if I spit. I just wanted to laugh so hard because I'm just thinking of what the guy said. It's laughable to me. Sony will continue doing this, and their business of putting their games on PC later seems to be working and seems to create a resurgence of sales on a game that came out a few years ago. I don't see that model changing anytime soon for Nintendo and PlayStation. And even if that's change, I can guarantee you the PlayStation will be the first one to change. I don't see Nintendo changing. I see Nintendo pretty much hiding tooth and nail to stay in the console market. What do you think about Michael Pachter comments? What do you think about my comments? Do you think that Nintendo or PlayStation will actually change the way they do business, or do you think they'll stick around the way they've been doing it? Let me know in the comment section. And so for me, go ahead and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, it really helps the channel. Go ahead and hit that bell so you can be alerted every time we have new videos. Thank you very much for watching.